Hi guys. So for today's practice, we're going to focus on stretching into the shoulders. I'm sure, as you know, as a human being, that we use our arms for all sorts of things. And so our shoulders tend to be a place that we store a lot of tension. Every now and again, we start to experience pain in these areas, repetitive stress injuries. So these are some stretches, exercises, a little bit of strengthening poses as well that will help to hopefully alleviate some of that stress, some of that tension, and some of that pain. So what you'll need today is a strap. If you don't have a strap at home, you can always grab like a scarf, or if you have a belt, or even the strap for a robe, like the tie for a robe. And then the next thing you'll need today is going to be a blanket. And so we're going to start off with our blanket and have it unfolded once so you've got more of a rectangle, and then start to roll it from the long way inward so that you're creating a noodle shape like this. So you've got like a long, skinny noodle. And we're going to lie down on top of this. If you already know that you would prefer to lie down on top of a bolster instead for a deeper heart opener, you can do that. It's just a little bit more intense on the shoulders. So that's why I chose the noodle. Okay, so taking the noodle, put it a long way on the mat, and then slide it up, so that you can sit down right in front of it, and then roll your spine down vertebrae by vertebrae, making sure that the blanket is right in the center of your spine. Snuggle the tips of the shoulder blades in, and you can choose if you'd like to extend your feet today, or if you'd like to keep your knees bent, feet planted down. And then we'll start to stretch into our shoulders already, so making a cactus shape with your arms, taking the arms out to the side. So elbows are aligned with the shoulders, wrists above the elbows. Already you'll notice you start to feel a little bit of an opening across the chest, sensations in your shoulders. If at any point it becomes too much, you can take the hands by your side face up. If it's alright with you, allow your eyes to soften and close. Start to draw your focus inward. Feel the breath as it pours in and out through the nostril opening. Not trying to force the breath to be any particular way or asking it to change. Simply allowing it to be exactly as it is right now. And then we'll start to deepen the breath. Trace the journey of the breath through the nose, down the spine, into the deepest reaches of your belly. Feel your belly inflate as you do so. And as you exhale, feel your belly deflate. Trace the journey of the breath back up your spine and back out your nose. And continue breathing in this way, in through your nose, out through your nose. Belly inflates, belly deflates. From here you can start to bring a slight constriction to the back of your throat to find what we refer to as Ujjayi Pranayama, breath of a proud warrior. Start to find an even pace for your breath. Maybe inhaling and exhaling on a count of 4. Notice if it's easier to inhale or if it's easier to exhale. Some days it's easier to draw in. Other days, it's easier to let go. release breath as best as you can throughout this practice. Extend both feet to straight if they were bent, and roll over to whichever side is feeling best for you. Help yourself up into a seated position, and then take your blanket, unroll it, and we'll come back to it later. Fold it back in half so that you have something to pad your knees or sit on top of. I'm going to sit on top of it just because that gives you a little bit more comfort. And now, from your seated position, take your hands out to the side. Thumbs are up, hands in line with the shoulders. Notice already if you're shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears, relax them down your back, and then start to take the right hand across your chest. Now notice if you're starting to stick the shoulder forward of the chest, can you draw it back a little bit so maybe it doesn't go all the way across, and then bend your left elbow in front of the arm, and then draw the right arm back with the strength of your left. Reach through the right fingertips, keep drawing the right shoulder back, and keep shrugging the shoulders down the back away from the ears. Breathing deeply and slowly, in through the nose, out through the nose. Good, and then start to take the right hand to the left shoulder, left hand to the right shoulder, right arm is on top, left arm is underneath. Poof up your upper back, take the shoulders down, the back away from the ears. Inhale, lift the elbows up, and then exhale, lower them back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the elbows up, and then exhale, take the elbows back down. Good, and then extend the hands back out to the side in line with the shoulders. Let's take the left arm in front this time, bend the right elbow, press forearm against forearm as you draw the left arm closer towards your chest. Once again, notice you want to take the left shoulder back and keep reaching through the left fingertips, shoulders down, the back away from the ears, and breathe slowly and deeply in through the nose and out through the nose. Take left hand to right shoulder, right hand to left shoulder, right arm is underneath the left this time, shoulders down the back, inhale, lift the elbows up, and exhale, lower them back down. Inhale, lift up the elbows, and exhale, lower them back down. Wonderful. Undo the arms, take your left hand to the mat about a foot away from your hip, and if it's hard for you to flatten out the palm without lifting up your right butt cheek, then tent up onto your fingertips, or if you have a block or something you can put underneath your hand, then go ahead and put that underneath your hand to help split the difference. And then from here, reach the right hand up, bend the elbow, take the hand behind the head. Press the hand into the head, but push the skull back into your hand and lift the elbow up towards the sky. Maybe you can crawl the left hand a little bit further to the left, and then start to roll the chest a little bit open towards the sky. Breathe deeply into your right side lung. 3 breaths. Keep pushing your right elbow back. Keep lifting it up towards the sky. Hand presses into the head. Head presses back into the hand. Good. Inhale, reach your hands up. And then take your right hand down. Left hand is up. Take the left hand behind your head. Press the head into the hand. Push the hand back into the head. Lift up through the elbow and roll the left side of the chest back. 3 breaths here. Keep pressing down into the base hand. Don't let the shoulder shrug towards your ear. Keep it away. Keep opening up across the chest. Good, and then slowly lift yourself back up. Interlace both hands behind your head. Shrug the shoulders down, the back away from the ears, and the elbows probably want to come in towards your face. So keeping the shoulders down away from your ears, start to spread the elbows open, and then try to hug the shoulder blades in to touch one another. And From here, you're invited to stay just like this if you're feeling enough of a stretch, but if you'd like to bring in a little bit of a back bend, now you can start to press the shoulder blades into your chest, lift up through the sternum, and maybe you start to lift your gaze up towards the sky, or if you're inside, towards the ceiling. Keep pressing your elbows back, keep hugging the tips of the shoulder blades in towards one another. Breathe, deep inhales, long, slow exhales. Good. And then slowly return. Reach your hands back up, and then take the hands down. Locate your strap, and if you've got a particularly long strap like this one, fold it in half, and grab opposite ends. So your arms are about 45 degrees away from your body. Inhale, reach your hands up so that they're overhead, and then just start to move the strap side to side. Lower the right hand down, lifting left hand up. Lower left arm down, reach the right hand up. Just move like that from side to side a couple of times. Right hand down, left hand goes up. Left hand down, right hand goes up. Making sure to move with your breath. Remember that you can always take a break at any time if any of these stretches or poses start to become too strenuous for you. If you're dealing with anything serious in your shoulders, absolutely, please listen to your body before you listen to anything that I or somebody else might tell you. Okay, and now from here, if you're still moving from side to side and that feels good, feel free to continue moving like that. But what we'll do now is we're going to start to move the arms forward and back, and this can sometimes be quite unpleasant. For some of us, it can feel really good. So always listening to your body, always having a conversation. If it feels unpleasant, notice, is the unpleasantness pain or is it discomfort? If it's pain, that's a message from your body asking you to stop. Starting with your hands forward, parallel to the mat. Inhale, reach them up, take them a little bit behind your head, as far as you can go, so you feel a stretch across the chest, into the shoulders. And then, once again, taking the hands back down. Inhale, reach them up. And exhale, lower them down. Inhale, reach. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And on this time, let's see if you can take it all the way up and all the way back. And if you can't, no worries. Find your range of motion. All the way down, all the way up, all the way back. Making sure to move with your breath, moving as slowly or as fast as you like, but I would recommend moving very slowly. This time, take it up and overhead, take it back behind you. Let's hold it here. Poof up the chest, shoulder blades press in, belly button draws down and in. Lift the hands back up. Strap off to the side. Roll your shoulders around a couple of times. Good. So now from here, reach your hands forward, palms flip up. Take the left arm down, right arm on top, bend your elbows, and then flip the palms around to touch. If you're having a hard time with this, or your body's telling you no, then instead give yourself a hug, just like we did earlier. Then from here, shoulders down the back, forearms press away from your face, and then as you inhale, reach your fingers up to the sky and keep the shoulders down away from the ears. And then as you exhale, lower the elbows down to the ground. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Good. Unravel the arms. Let's switch sides. Flipping the palms to face the sky. Right arm down, left arm on top. Bend the elbows, flip the palms to touch. Once again, you can be like this, but if it's hard for you, or your body's telling you no, give yourself a hug instead. Inhaling, reach the fingers up, keep the shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, elbows draw down towards the ground. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, draw it down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Good. Unravel the arms once again. And then let's come onto our hands and our knees for some cat-cows. And I recommend using the blanket to pad the knees. And so just taking a moment here, roll the shoulders around in your sockets a couple of times and just already start to notice how they're feeling now versus how maybe they started to feel at the top of the practice. Pressing into your hands, spread your fingers apart wide. Energize your forearms towards each other. Turn your biceps forward, triceps back. Have your knees stacked underneath your hips. And now as you inhale, lift your chest, lift your tailbone. Look forward, cow pose. Notice if you're hunching your shoulders towards your ears, take them down the back. And then as you exhale, push into the hands, round your spine, lift the belly button up, relax the neck and the head, cat pose. Inhale, come back into cow. And exhale, round the spine, drop back into cat. Inhale, cow. And now this time we're going to hold cat pose, so rounding your spine, push into your hands, keep turning the biceps forward, triceps back, press the upper back up towards the sky like you're a cat who just got scared, but keep your neck and your head relaxed. If you need to, you can give it a gentle nod yes, and an easy shake no. Breathe into your upper back. Good, and then inhale. Come back into cow pose, and then bring your toes to touch, spread the knees apart wide, sit your hips down onto your heels, and fold forward into child's pose. And we'll keep on moving. Start to walk your hands all the way over to the right as far as you can take them, and place your left hand on top. Reach through the left fingertips so you feel a stretch along the left side of your body, and notice that your left shoulder maybe wants to lift up higher than the right. Can you lower it down until you find that sweet spot where you find maximum stretch along the left side of your body? And it's usually right when your left shoulder is in line with the right. Keep reaching through the fingertips every time you inhale. Every time you exhale, can you feel your hips sinking a little bit lower towards your heels? And then walk your hands back into center, and then walk yourself all the way over to the left as far as you can go. Right hand on top this time. Reach through the right fingertips with every inhale. Feel the hips sinking down towards the heels with every exhale. Once again, noticing your right shoulder might have lifted up. If you can drop it down so it's in line with the left, you'll feel maximum stretch along the right side of the body. And for me, this is my much tighter side, so notice if it is for you as well. If your right arm dominant, it might be. Or if you sleep on your right side. And walk yourself back into center, folding forward. Start to tent up onto the fingertips like you've got an orange underneath your hands. Spider crawl the hands forward, but shrug the shoulder blades down and back away from the ears. Breathe into your upper back. Release the hands. Push yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. Lean forward so that your shoulders come beyond the wrists. Tuck your toes, press your hips up towards the sky. Downward facing dog pose. So we're going to do some flowing a little bit to start to wake up into the shoulders, finding a little bit of mobility. Bringing the knees back down, shifting shoulders beyond the wrists. Press yourself back into child's pose. And then once again, coming back forward, shoulders beyond the wrists, tuck the toes, press up into downward facing dog. Inhaling, dropping the knees down, shifting shoulders beyond the wrists. Exhaling child's pose. Inhaling shoulders beyond the wrists, tucking toes, pressing hips up towards the sky. Exhaling downward facing dog. Inhale, knees down, shift shoulders forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shoulders shift beyond the wrists, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lower the knees. Inhale, shift shoulders forward. Exhale, shift back, child's pose. Inhale, forward. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And this is where we're going to hold down. Now, if you're dealing with something in your shoulders, oftentimes this is the pose where it becomes very apparent, especially because this is one of the first poses that you practice in any yoga routine. So noticing already, how is it feeling in your shoulders? If it's feeling tight, start to shift your torso forward so that you're in sort of a half plank, half downward facing dog. Press into every single knuckle underneath your fingers, especially the knuckle where the index finger meets the palm. Energize your forearms towards each other, turn your biceps forward, wrap your triceps back, and oftentimes this is the hardest part of this pose. Keep that in your arms, and then start to shift yourself back, lifting your hips up towards the sky as best as you can. Put a little bit of a bend in your knees, lift up high into the balls of the feet, lift your booty up towards the sky as high as it can go, keep that length you found in your spine, and then sink the heels back down towards the mat. We're gonna hold this pose for 5 rounds of breath. The shoulders start to feel tired. Remember that you can always come out of any of these poses, especially if you start to experience pain. Deep breaths in through the nose. Long, slow exhales back out the nose. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the knees down to the mat. Shift yourself forward so that your shoulders are above the wrists, and then walk the feet back just a little bit so that your knees are behind the hips. Walking the hands back so that the wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Shift your shoulders forward. And we're going to do 3 chaturanga push-ups. Feel free to skip it if you like. Reach the heart forward as you inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower yourself down halfway and hug the elbows into the body. Shoulders roll back and down. Push yourself back up as you inhale. Exhale, lower yourself back down, holding. One more time, inhale, push up. And exhale, lower down halfway, hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Come all the way down onto your belly. Nice job. Take the hands back by your lower ribs. And then let's spread our feet wide as we can get them on the mat, turning all 10 toes down. Spin your inner thighs up, and when you do that, notice how it helps you take your pinky toe side of the foot to the mat. Press down especially strong into that side of the foot, root down through the pubic bone, and tilt your tailbone back. So now your legs should feel nice and firm. Now, keeping your forehead down onto the mat, roll your shoulders back and down, hug your elbows in towards one another, press the hands into the mat, slide it back with the strength of your arms. Legs are firm, arms are firm. Now as you inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, lift just your chest up off the mat, draw the belly button in, and look forward. As you exhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, slowly lower yourself back down. Inhale, lengthen and lift, broaden across the collarbones a little bit more. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Good, now this time, inhale, lengthen, lift up, float your hands up off the mat. 3, 2, keep hugging the elbows in, and 1, place them down. Good job, everybody. Push yourself up onto your hands and your knees. Step your left foot forward in between your hands, and then scooch it forward so that the ankle is beyond the knee. And then sink down low, take the hands onto your thigh, and lift yourself up for Anjaneyasana. Now from here, bend a little bit deeper so that your knee is right on top of your ankle. Left hip back, right hip forward. Front hip points left, tailbone tilts down. Press into your left heel and drag the mat back with the strength of the front foot. Now from here, we're gonna start to introduce a little bit of strength into the muscles that surround the shoulders. These are muscles that we don't often use that much, especially in yoga classes. So sometimes they're hard to access, and oftentimes we encounter pain in certain muscles because we're using those muscles rather than the muscles that surround them for some support. So what we'll do here is we'll start to activate the upper pectoral muscles and the muscles that are just underneath the shoulders as well. Take your hands forward, palms face one another, and start to energize the palms towards one another. If you can, bring the palms to touch. And this is what I'm going to suggest for everybody, is bringing the palms to touch. Press the palms into one another and then take the shoulders back so that they're in line with your chest. Bend a little bit deeper into the knee if you can. Belly button draws in, lift up through the chest, and now start to reach the hands up until you start to notice that your front ribs start to poke out. That might be the indicator that you're taking your hands up too high. So take them wherever you can comfortably go, keeping the front ribs drawn in. If you can take them up above your head, go for it. My hands are going to be slightly in front of my face. Keep pressing the palms into one another. Keep shrugging the shoulders down the back away from the ears. And try to spin the biceps towards your face, triceps forward towards the front of the room. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. If you love to back bend, there's an opportunity here. Shoulder blades can press in. You can start to lift the heart, and maybe you lift your gaze into the crease between your palms. 3, 2, beautiful, and 1. Slowly lower the right hand down to the mat next to the left foot, but so the wrist is underneath your shoulder. Left hand comes to the left thigh, and if you're feeling pretty feisty today, you can tuck the back toes, press the right hamstring up towards the sky, as long as your legs are feeling okay. Then from here, start to press the right hip up towards the sky, and then roll the left shoulder open as well. You can reach the left hand up, but what I'm going to suggest today is to flip the palm to face whatever's behind you, wrap it around your back, and you can take the knuckle side of the hand to your lower back, or if you can reach all the way around, you can grab hold of your right hip or article of clothing. Inhale, reach your heart forward, press into the right hand. Exhale, draw the belly button in, twist a little bit deeper. Maybe you're looking up, maybe you're looking down. I love to look down. It helps me keep my balance, makes me feel a little bit more grounded. Looking up is a little bit more challenging. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling out the nose, feeling the stretch across the left shoulder. Good. Reach the left hand back up. Slowly lower the left hand back down. Lower the right knee if you had it lifted. Step the left knee back. Let's take a round of cat-cows in between. Inhaling as you come into cow. Exhaling as you round into cat. Once again, inhaling for cow. And exhaling for cat. Good. Now let's step our right foot forward in between the hands. Take your hands onto the thigh, lift yourself up. Have the ankle be on the knee at first so that you can bend down deep. Knee is right on top of the ankle. Hands reach forward, energize palms towards one another. Press the palms into one another if you can. Keep pressing the right heel down, drag the mat back. Start to lift the arms up. Remember, when you get to the point where the front ribs poke out, that lets you know that you've gone a little bit too far. So keep the belly drawn in, keep the front ribs interlaced and drawn in, and then start to lift the hands up. For me, my hands stay a little bit forward of the face. On this side, it feels a little bit different, which is a little strange. But remember, none of our bodies are 100% symmetrical. Keep pressing palms into one another, bicep spin back, tricep spin forward. Breathe. Good. Can you press the hands in a little bit more? Draw the shoulders down your back. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the left hand down to the mat underneath the shoulder. Reach the right hand up. If you felt feisty and you did it on the first side, you can do it again on this side. Tuck the back toes, press the left thigh up towards the sky. Flip the right palm to face what's behind you, wrap it around your back. Knuckle side of the hand can rest on your lower back or wrap it around, grab hold of your hip or article of clothing. Rolling the right shoulder back. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, belly button draws in and twist a little bit deeper. Looking down will help you keep your balance. Looking up is a little bit more of a challenge. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, reach the right hand back up. Slowly lower the hand down. Lower the left knee if you had it lifted. Step the right knee back and sit yourself back into child's pose. Up and from child's pose, just notice how are you feeling in your shoulders now. Maybe they're feeling a little bit stronger, a little bit more open. Maybe you started to feel a little bit of a pain start to dissipate. Maybe you're not feeling any of that. Remember, there's never any right or wrong observation. Simply allow yourself to be as you are. Don't attach any judgments to the observations you might make. Reach the hands forward so much that your forearms and elbows lift up off the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. And then however you like, I recommend slowly walking to the front of the mat, make your way forward. So in your forward fold, if you're done with your shoulder stretches for now, you can relax your shoulders all the way down to the fingertips, let your neck and your head hang free. Otherwise, if you want a little bit more, interlace your hands at your lower back, and then notice which way you crossed your fingers. It's probably your dominant grip. Switch the crossing so that it feels strange, and then have as deep of a bend in the knees as you need. Inhale, reach the heart forward, and then exhale, reach the knuckles up towards the sky. You'll notice that the shoulders want to hunch towards the ears. Can you lift the shoulder blades up your back away from your ears? Keep a little bit of a bend in your elbows, and then start to send the pinkies towards the wall in front of you. Relax your neck and your head. Keep lifting the tailbone up, shoulder blades up the back, pinkies reach forward. Breathing in through the nose, exhaling out the nose. Keeping the hands reached up, switch the grip once again, so now it's your dominant grip. And you'll notice that just that little switch of the grip has already changed the way that this stretch feels a little bit in your shoulders. Keep spinning your biceps forward, keep turning your triceps back. Shoulder blades lift up the back away from your ears. Pinkies reach forward. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower the hands down to the mat. Relax shoulders all the way down to the fingertips. Feel the blood flowing back down to the hands. Plant your palms. Step back to your hands and knees. And then however you like to, make your way down onto your belly. Okay, so we're gonna do one hard thing before we do some really delicious shoulder opening. So we're gonna be lying on our belly. Take a moment to adjust yourself because we're gonna be pressing into the pubic region. Bring your toes to touch. And then from here, take the hands back, palms are down. Roll your shoulders back and down, walk the hands back, lift up through the chest. Try to bring your shoulder blades into touch. Look forward and breathe. If you're feeling like this isn't enough, you can start to lengthen back through the toes so much that your feet lift up off the mat as well. But keep spinning the inner thighs up towards the sky. Look forward. 3, 2, 1. Lower yourself down. Turn your head to either side. Let your shoulders fall to the ground. We'll take another round of Shalabhasana. You're welcome to keep the hands down by your side. Otherwise, this time we're gonna try one that's gonna strengthen the shoulders as well. So arms come forward, try to press the palms into one another, lift up through the chest, and then lift the arms, reach the fingertips forward. Pressing palms into one another, biceps lift up, triceps turn down. You can stay like this. If you're feeling really wild and crazy today, float back through the toes, the legs lift up off the mat. Breathe. 3, 2, keep reaching forward, keep reaching back. And 1, lower yourself down, turn the head the opposite way. Good, now last time. This time you have the choice. You can choose any of the 2 previous versions that we did. I like this version where you interlace your knuckles at your lower back, just like we did when we were in our forward fold. Start to reach the knuckles back towards the wall behind you. Keep a little bit of a bend in your elbows. If you're very mobile or hyper flexible like me, it'll be easy to straighten out through the arms, but keep a bend and hug the elbows in. Reach the knuckles back, lift the chest up, stay here, or lengthen through the feet so much that the legs lift up off and that inner thigh spin up, press into the pubic bone. Breathe. Keep reaching back through the knuckles. 3, 2, and 1. Lower yourself down. Propping yourself up onto your forearms. Take your right knee out to the side. Knee is in line with the hip, ankle is in line with the knee. Flip the right palm to face the sky and then thread the arm underneath the left, taking it as far to the left as you can go, and then turn your left forearm parallel to the short end of the mat. Shift forward and rest your forehead down onto your forearm. If it's hard for you to do this, and you can grab a block and put your head on top of the block, take the right shoulder down, the back away from your ear. Do your very best now to relax into this pose. And notice what sensations you're starting to feel in your mind and in your body. And you start to release tension. You start to be reminded of ways that you felt in stressful situations. Especially if you tend to hold a lot of tension in your shoulders. These are really good stretches to do to relieve that stress, that tension. And as you start to release this tension, your mind is starting to be negative, telling you no pain, no gain. What do you feel? Does it make you feel joyful? Or does it make you feel afraid? Pain is usually a sensation that we associate with negative feelings, like fear, anxiety, sadness, and anger. If you're starting to feel any of those things, then perhaps it is pain that you're experiencing. But if you can relax the face, the jaw, the arm, the shoulder, the hips, the back leg, take your focus onto your breath. Maybe you can start to open up and gently allow the body to open its own time. You can stay in this pose a little bit longer if you like. As if you're ready, start to bring the right foot back so that the toes touch. Press into your left arm to slide the right arm out from underneath. And then extend the right hand to the side so it's in line with the shoulder. Take the left hand next to your chest. You're gonna push off of the left hand and roll onto your right side, resting your head onto the mat. It's important to make sure you keep your hand in line with your shoulder. You can stack the left foot on top of the right. You can even stack the left foot behind you, pointing the knee straight up. If any of this is too much, you can always keep your chest down. Take the left knee to the side, push off of the left knee and the left hand to gently stretch into the right shoulder. Some of you might feel like you want to go a little bit deeper than this. faces the wall behind you, and then wrap the arm around your back and maybe slide the hand underneath your side. Try to keep your head resting onto the mat. Try not to rip into the right fingertip. Relax the right hip. Your jaw. Stay here a little bit longer if you wish. Otherwise, slowly coming out. If you took the bound variation, reach the left hand back up, lower it down, restack the left foot on top of the right if you had it stuck behind you. Slowly roll down onto your belly. Prop yourself up onto your forearms once again, and then take the left knee out to the side this time. Knee in line with the hip, ankle underneath the knee. Left palm faces the sky, thread the arm underneath, palm face up, and then turning your right forearm parallel to the short end of the mat, shift forward, rest your forehead down onto the forearm. Keeping the left shoulder down away from the ear, allow the left fingertips to curl in towards the palm. And just start to relax the body. For me, I don't have as much tension in my left shoulder as I do in my right. Perhaps it's because my right arm is my dominant arm. Perhaps it's because I dealt with repetitive stress injury in my right shoulder once upon a time. Perhaps it's because I sleep on my right side. There are all sorts of different things that we do throughout the day. And we use different halves of our bodies to achieve these different tasks that we have to complete. So even though you might be right-handed or left-handed, you can still be using different parts of the body to achieve different tasks throughout the day that are quite strenuous in the body. I'm not saying this so that you feel shame for the different actions that you're doing or so that you feel badly about the way that you do things. I'm simply saying this so that maybe we start to develop a greater sense of awareness for the way that we carry out our daily tasks. And perhaps the movements and the motions that we practice on the mat, we can take into our walking life. And remember, there's a safer and kinder way to move our bodies throughout the day. Deeply healing space right now, you can stay a little bit longer. Otherwise, if you're ready to come out, start to bring the left foot back so that your toes touch. Press into the right forearm to lift your chest and slide the left arm out from underneath. And then extend the left hand to the side, hand in line with the shoulder. Take the right hand next to the chest. Rest your head down onto the mat. Push off the right hand to roll it to your left side. You can keep the feet stacking. You can step the right foot behind you. You can reach the right hand up, turn the palm to face the wall behind you, and wrap it around. All that feels good. You can slide the right hand underneath your side. Try to allow the eyes to soften and close. Take your focus onto the breath. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. Try to relax any part of the body that isn't required to hold the body in this shape. stay here for a little bit longer. Otherwise, start to reach the right hand back up if you're in the bound variation. Take the hand back down. Stack the right foot back on top of the left if it wasn't there already. And roll back down onto your belly in the way that uses the least amount of energy possible. You'll make your way onto your back. And if you like the way it felt with the blanket noodle underneath your back in the beginning, you can take a moment and roll your blanket up once again and do that. Otherwise, choosing your shape for Shavasana, I think it would feel nice to end the same way you began, with your arms in the cactus shape, and notice the way that it feels now versus how it felt in the beginning. If you're still feeling similar sensations to how it felt, or if it's feeling a little less sensational. So starting to relax both the mind and the body. Start to become aware of your relationship to pain. We live in a society that doesn't like to talk about uncomfortable things. Pain is one of them. Our relationship to pain in this society is that same phrase that I brought up earlier, no pain, no gain. Or how about beauty is pain? In all of these situations, they make it seem like pain is something that you must deal with in order to find desired outcomes. However, pain may be something that is unavoidable throughout our lifetime. It is something that we do not need to deal with all the time. In fact, pain can be avoided, and it can also be managed in a healthy way. Remember that the next time you feel like you have to push yourself beyond your own boundaries, beyond your limits, beyond yourself. And instead, can you remind yourself that you are exactly where you are meant to be at all times, and everything that you need will be provided for you when the time is right. Please stay in this position for as long as feels comfortable for your body. Thank you for practicing with me, everyone. I hope that this practice has helped you feel a little bit more open, stronger, maybe has alleviated some pain or tension in your shoulders. Until next time, may we all know peace. Namaste.